There are so many rules in triathlon and the important ones are written down. There are, however, a few which you won't find in a rule book, so we've got our very own guide to share with you.
Yeah, but before you worry too much about breaking these rules, don't, because they're not going to result in a disqualification or a fine, just maybe a raised eyebrow or a funny look from one of your fellow triathletes.
Yes, okay, you got a PB, you improved your FTP by 20 watts, you maintained your heart rate 10 beats below your maximum, your cadence was spot on at 85 RPM, and you hit a 1.15 intensity factor, but who do you really think cares? Well, I hate to break it to you, they probably don't. And you might have a few friends who geek out on numbers, but I think it's probably safe to say that they're more excited by their own numbers than they are in yours. And as for your friends at the pub, unless you come up with some better chat, you're probably gonna have to find some new friends.
On the flip side, when you're out training for a triathlon, it's okay to talk, to a certain extent at least. It's not okay though to turn up to a group session with your noise cancelling headphones on full blast. If you insist on keeping your tunes turned up, that's fine, but go and do your session alone and solo. I expect there are a couple of squad members you wish would put headphones on and leave you in peace for a few minutes. It works both ways. Use the warm up and warm down to chat and then save your energy for focusing on the main set and let others focus on theirs.
No one likes a cheat. I think we can all agree on that one. However, this line becomes a little bit grey when it comes to swimming training, because surely a little tug on the lane rope isn't going to hurt anybody. I mean, we all just want to keep up, and you have to admit that that feeling of surging through the water for very little effort feels pretty good.
Yeah, and I get it. If you're not fast enough to keep up, that's totally understandable. We all swim at different speeds. But pulling on the lane rope, however, is cheating, and it's a bad habit to get into that could lead to greater offences, such as maybe pulling on the ankles, so watch out.
Okay, we have to tread carefully on this one because I think we're talking to a lot of athletes out there. Now, we know you're proud to have finished a race, and so you should be. You're entitled to shout about it, be proud. However, 2 years down the line and you have barely removed that finisher t-shirt. It's possibly a little too much. Yep, Mark, it's probably time to take your Norseman t-shirt off now.
You did a race, yes, we know because you told us, and probably because you've been wearing your finisher t-shirt too. But some people seem to have an affinity for collecting stickers. Collecting them in a book is one thing, but on your bike and your helmet is another thing altogether. And I'm sure you meticulously clean your bike and your kit, and you take pride in riding that bike and wearing that kit. So collecting all these scuffed, worn, soggy stickers all over that isn't a great look. Take it from us. And then brushing it off by saying, I just forgot, isn't an excuse, I'm afraid.
If you hang out with cyclists enough, you may be fooled into thinking tan lines are cool. It's almost considered a badge of honour in the cycling world, demonstrating the miles that you've ridden. But let's reassess that coolness when you turn up to swim practice with those killer tan lines. Pale chest and thighs, then tanned arms and lower legs. Yep, it's a bit of an odd look. And one that we've had to get used to, thanks to Mark. It's like he's still wearing his t-shirt and his shorts. Despite being uber fit triathletes, some people find it too much effort to get out of the swimming pool, walk to the bathroom in order to have a pee. Instead, they think it's perfectly acceptable to have a wee whilst you're in the water, and that is the same swimming pool in which everybody else is swimming in.
And famously, Michael Phelps and Ryan Lochte both admitted to doing this, claiming that the chlorine kills it off. It's almost become socially acceptable. I'm sorry, no, I really don't want to swim in your urine. As crude as that is, and I'm sorry to finish on that note, but I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If so, give us a like and don't forget to follow GTN on our social media channels.